今回アラスカのパイクフィッシングに来ています。6日間の釣りで、今日4日目ですね。3日間で、どれぐらい釣れたのかと言いますと、30匹、キャッチ&リリースすることができました。1匹目に釣れたのが105センチ、20ポンドの、パイクで、ビッグワンかだと思ったら、それが、アベレージサイズだと、トニーは言ってました。で30匹釣った中で一番大きいのは今までで115センチの、24ポンドですね。こんな大きい、こんな太くてこんな大きい、パイクが、釣れました。これから、あまり、日本では、馴染みの少ない、パイクフィッシングの解説をアラスカのナンバー1ガイドトニー・ウェーバーさんに、説明して、いただきます。
So we're fishing for pike in Alaska on the Noco River. We're here on the river, and I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that we use for catching these large pike. Probably the #1 lure for pike on this river is the silver minnow. Now this is a 1 1/8 ounce lure, and we dress this up with a grub tail. Now these grub tails, they come in different colors and sizes, and the color is probably more important than the size, but this actually works as a keel. We don't want it too big or too small, but that's about the right size. The size that we use here, I believe, is a 3-inch tail, and you can change these tails out. The advantage to the silver minnow is that when we release the fish, we could use the pliers to take the hook out. It's very easy to take the hook out and doesn't harm the fish. So this is a great lure. It has a lot of flash, it sinks fast, and it's easy to cast. So for the rods that we're using, this 1 ounce lure casts really fast. I have 2 rods here. One of them's a stiffer rod, and this rod here is a short 7.5 foot rod, or 7 foot rod, and it's a multi-piece. So what it does is it comes apart, and you can travel with this rod. So it comes in 3 pieces, and my rods that I have for this style of fishing in Alaska is I need a shorter rod for traveling. And how I have this set up is I've got a small palmable, or a bass style reel for these pike. It has about 28 pounds of drag, and it's a nice machine product here. I believe that this one here I got from these are knockoffs. They're very similar to the Daiwa Shimano. Bass Pro makes this one, has all the features, cast control, magnetic, backlash. I like the thumb as opposed to a button, because I can make more casts faster as opposed to hitting the button, switching over. I can hit the thumb, cast, reel, hit the thumb, cast again, and cover lots of water. So this is one rod that I have, and it has a fairly, if you look at the tip action here, it's a fairly heavy action for crankbaits and topwater for bigger plugs. Now this rod here I have is a Loomis rod, and this Loomis rod is a little softer action, and this is also a multi-piece rod. It's got 3 pieces, comes in a 3-piece, and this rod here is 7.5 foot. And you can see this rod here is a softer flex. If you look at the bend, it's a much softer rod, so you can cast lighter lures. So I can fish a 1/2 ounce, maybe 3/4 ounce. This is maxed out here. This is probably the heaviest I want to cast on this rod, is about 1 ounce lure. This rod here can handle much more, but I find that these are more than adequate for the pike up here. I mean, they're powerful enough reels that I can stop 30 to 40 pound pike, no problem. For fly fishing, it's what I like to do. I have a sage rod, and again, all these rods are breakdown rods. So I can travel with this. This is a 4-piece rod. This is a Sage 1. They have a new rod out now that's called, actually they have quite a few, the Method. They have a number of rods, but I use a lot of Sage rods, and G. Loomis, a lot of the other manufacturers make a nice 4-piece rod. This is a 10-weight rod. Okay, this is a rod that I would use for permit. I would use this for a lot of saltwater fishing also. And the reason I use a 10-weight here is the pike are a little bit larger, and I can cast these big flies. Now what we do here is that we have a couple of setups. This is a sink tip line. This is a Jim Teeny sink tip line. I've got a 5-foot sinking section here. If you pull this line out, this line here, I've got 5 feet of sinking. Let me see if I can get to it here. It's probably buried. It's got a sinking section. You can see that the end of the line here, it's got 5 feet of sink. Now what that sink does, and this is floating here, but what the sinking section does is that it'll anchor down the bottom of the line, so when I'm fishing like a floating fly, and these are the flies that I like to fish for pike. This is a popper. It's tied with hard shell foam. This is very hard, and it splashes water, but the line will actually anchor down the front of the fly so it'll dig without sinking. This is a very famous fly. This is a Dahlberg diver, and Larry Dahlberg invented this fly many years ago, and it's a very good fly. It's got a lot of profile. Here's another one, and this one's tied with a weed guard on it. And these are like some bait fish patterns that I fish. This style here, here's a little bit different bait fish pattern, but what I'm trying to do is match the food fish or the bait fish that are in this system. And these fish feed on whitefish, suckers, sheefish. So all these different fish are part of this food chain. I use, if you want to use a little bit of flash, this is a very similar fly that I use for redfish in Louisiana. This fly here is very good for the Innoko. And one of the things that I like to do is that the colors always match the environment. So the environment colors, like this color, is very similar to the Innoko. This color, Innoko colors. Yeah, if you notice, there's a theme here. So anyway, that's kind of the general idea here with the fly fishing. Of course, you can always use like an attractor style pattern, which is flashier, you know, with a double hook, something like this. I don't use these as much, and these are similar flies that I would use for salt water. However, I use them less frequently, and I kind of stick to this palette right here. Also, this Johnson's Silver Minnow, the variations here is the Dr. Spoon, a little bit heavier, more of a wobbling action. This is a little tighter action. That's been a popular spoon. This is a little Cleo. This is a heavy spoon that's smaller. The good thing about this is for river fishing, like for sheefish, we use this a lot, where we have very deep currents that are swirling around. This spoon drops really fast, and you can use it in a jigging action, and the sheefish will grab this. So this is probably a better better spoon for deeper water, so we like to use that. Now I have a map here, and I was talking with Moto-san on this map, and one of the things with the map here, I just kind of drew out some areas here so you get an area of where we're fishing. This is the Innoko River. I know the map is not very good here, but we originated here at Holy Cross, and we traveled up the river many miles, 70 kilometers, to the Iditarod. This is the farthest place that we fish here in this camp. And there's multitudes or many lakes. Lake. I just drew some of the major lakes so you can get an idea of what this looks like. But we travel to these different lakes and we fish these lakes. These are flooded lakes with great pike habitat. And every one of these lakes has pike. Pike. The Yukon fishery, I believe, or the Innoko fishery, is the best pike fishing in the world. Number one. We have cold water, very cold water this trip, and we're having to travel very far, okay, to find these fish. So we've been from here all the way to the top. Today we're going to concentrate on the top. The weather is getting better, and hopefully the fishing will get better because these pike are very sensitive to temperature. If the temperature's down, they become dormant and they're hard to get to bite. So we're hoping that we're going to get some warming in the water. The water is staying pretty stable. So this is a long river. These river systems, the Yukon, the Innoko, we're talking river systems in the 500-mile, and the Yukon River is as long as 1,200 miles. So the bottom chain of the Yukon flooded plain, like the Innoko, is probably some of the best pike fishing in the world, as you can see with some of the videos of the few large fish that we caught. I like, when I'm tying up my tackle, to get back to the tackle. On these silver minnows, we use a wire leader or any type of tackle, whether it's fly or with tackle. I use wire leader. This is a setup that I like. This is a piece of 40-pound titanium wire. It's plastic coated, and I use a match here with a swivel on this, and there's no connections or snaps. This is a real clean setup. This is 50-pound or 20-kilogram braid line with wire, flexible wire. So this wire doesn't kink. There's no kink in here, and it's just a nice haywire twist with the flame that I use on this. And I use the same thing on the fly setup. So I have a very short leader. This leader here is, actually I took the wire off. It's about 5 feet with the same setup with the wire on the end, and I'll go 20 to 30 pounds on that. Anyway, that's pretty much it. If you want any more information, I do have some stuff here in the book, in the chapters, on pike fishing, she fishing, all the salmon and the trout in Alaska. You can find this on Amazon.com. Tony Weaver just put in top water. Anyway, thank you very much, and I hope that's good information for you today on pike fishing on the Innoko. This is a lure that we designed with hard foam. So when you push this here, it sprays water here, so it's an attractor pattern, but it's based on the gurgler pattern. And this is a really good color, the orange with the yellow tail. And of course we do them for pinks, but in pink, you know, we fish this actually for silver salmon, or you can do them in white. All of these are very good for topwater. And these are just variations. Now this is a slider. This here will slide in the water and wiggle and slide. And this is a diver. I like to fish this with a sink tip line. And it'll actually go under and then come up. Go under and come up. And this leaves a big bubble trail. So there's lots of bubbles behind it. Down and then up. Down and then up. And this is another variation of that. It's just a little bit bigger. See that it's tied with a deer hair collar, and then we put Flexamin on this so it's stiff. This is hard, and these are very good for pike. The synthetics is where we've been going though. Is like this. This is one of our better flies here. You can see this is about the size of a lighter here. Okay. Motoshi, very good pike fishing for Motoshi today. We're looking for the monster pike. Did very, very good. Mini fish on his pin reel. And the silver minnow was perfect today.
It's a very good lure. This spot fished the best. Most of the fish we caught in the channel. You can see the channel in the middle, and the fish were laid up and floating. So the temperature is much better, and we did very good on the pike here for the short period of time that we fished it. So we're going to head down river to the lodge and get packed here and head out to a different location. But it was very good fishing with Samurai Moto Shi. Very good fishing today, and we got big pike, but no trophy. Next time we get a trophy here, so need warmer weather though, and a little bit warmer water temperatures. Otherwise, I'm very happy. I hope Moto's happy.
今回の、ガイドさん、この、地域の、ハンティングガイドを、やっていて、アラスカナンバーワンの、ムースガイドの、ブルースさんです。
We do moose guiding. We're Alaska Pike Safaris. We do a lot of moose guiding. We've taken about over 500 moose since 1994. We do a lot of work with Cabela's, a lot of the big booking agencies. We have some great country. We've taken a lot of 70-inch moose, a lot of 65, 68s. The moose hunting out here is phenomenal. Our moose are doing so good that in a lot of our areas we opened up 2 moose per person per year. The herd is doing outstanding. It's always good to have a guest like Moto. We appreciate it. We thank him. So that's pretty much, we do a lot of bear hunting out on the chain. And we also have caribou hunting up on the Brooks Range and sheep hunting. So if you have any questions, talk to Moto or give us a shout on email. Thank you very much.
Okay.
These are some of the baits we use on the Anoka River and on the Yukon River to catch different types of fish, from sheefish to pike. Maybe some grayling. Anyway, but most of it is geared up for pike fishing and sheep fishing. Those are the biggest number of fish in the area that we go after. Like here's the Dr. Spoon, very popular single hook, real good, more for diver deeping. Here, more different types of Dr. Spoons with different colors. Probably the most popular is the, let's see if I got it, the silver minnow. This is a gold one. But different types of color, single hook. This type is real good, different color. Then like sometimes we'll use more flatter baits for like sheefish, for like this more color. Another real good spoon is the Cleo. Very good spoon for sheefish and pike. We catch a lot of pike on there, a lot of action on this spoon. Here's a different color. You can see this is tiger, fire tiger. And then of course for the sheepfish, one of the most popular ones is more on these lines where you got the little minnows that jig like this as they go through the water. Very, very effective, very good. But that's about the size of it.
これが、ブルースさんのルアーコレクションです。ルアーコレクション、all vintage, old type, old.
Some
いろい
use
ろありますね。はい、これがドクタースプーンの、ウィードです。これはね、グランダムだな。これパイクマスキ用のグランダムです。これ。はい、ドクタースプーンこんなのあんだもんな。初めて見ました。ドクタースプーン。ドクタースプーンが好きみたいですね。はい、これスピナーベイトね。
very good.
あ、
Bottom
ブラ
feeder.
ック、オレンジ。
Yeah, bottom feeder.
これがいいみたいな。
I could put a white tail on there for you too.
OK。 サンキュー。
Bottom feeder.
うん
Thank you.
うん、サンキュー。はい、ありがと
Okay.
う。うん。はい、これです。お、レイジーアイクあんじゃん、これ。レイジーアイク。お、シンフィンだよ。うん、シルバーシャイナー。シルバーシャイナーもいいのか。うん、
Pops, I can't figure this
すごい。
out.
ああ、結構古くからや
How
って
this
んじゃ
blade
ん。
works. Oh, I see. I see. I see. I
あ
see.
ー、うん、
Yeah, I got you.
ルアー見りゃわかるんだよ
I see.
な。今回の、アラスカパイクフィッシングの釣りは、成田から、ポートランドから、アンカレッジ、アニヤック、ホーリークロスと、エアを乗り継いできまして、そこからさらに3時間半かけてボートでユーコン川の支流の川に向かいまして、そのビッグフィッシュキャンプというところで釣りをしました。この5日間で81匹のパイクが釣れまして、最大が122センチ27ポンドという大きなパイクが釣れました。十分このサイズでも大きいと思ってたんですが、トニーに言わせるともっとこんな大きいのがいると。今回はアベレージしか釣れなかったと言っていました。本当にいい時は今まで1日80匹から90匹、5日間で400匹っていう釣りができた時があるそうです。このロッジはできてまだ2年しか経っていないそうです。で、今年は私が初めてのパイクフィッシングの釣りに行ったお客さんだそうです。ここのパイクフィッシングは魚がすごく多いところなんですが、今ここが世界で一番パイクの大きいパイクですね。大きいパイクがたくさん釣れる釣り場だとトニーは言っています。カナダだとワントリップで1匹釣れるか釣れないかっていうサイズがここのアベレージだそうです。で、なぜここに魚がこんなにいますというと、ブルースが地元のこちらのハンティングガイドですね。で、ブルースという今回お世話になったガイドがハンティングもするしフィッシングもするという根っからのアウトドアおじさんですね。その彼が見つけた場所だそうです。釣れた魚を全部リリースして本当にパイクを大事にしている釣り場です。私は日本からトップウォーターで釣ろうということでトレブルフックのついたルアーを持ってきたんですが、こちらはシングルフック1本でやる釣りを推奨していまして、ジョンソンのシルバーミノというスプーンがとても有効なんですが、パイクがすごい好きなんですよね。そのルアーにジョンソンシルバーミノの銀色のカラーに白いグラブをつけまして、カーリーテールのグラブをつけまして、それをキャストしてそのまんまリトリーブという時と、少しシンクさせて沈めてリトリーブという時といろいろ活性によって巻き方を変えます。ですごくシルバーミノは魚の反応がいいんですが、もう一つ便利なところがリリースする時にミノの本体をシルバーミノの本体をプライヤーで持って挟んで 外すことができます。パイクは皆さんご存知のようにもう刃がすごいんですよ。で手なんかでは取れませんから、私も怖いから一回も、フックは外しませんでした。慣れてるトニーでさえ、2日目ぐらいかな、2日目ぐらいにちょっと外す時にパイクが暴れまして、カットしてしまいました。で結構血が出たんですけど、とても危険な魚なので、キャプテンガイドは船の中に魚を入れないようなスタイルでリリースしています。で今回もファイトシーンはたくさん撮れたんですが、なかなか船の中に入れて写真を撮るということができなかったのはそういう理由です。日本の雷魚と同じですね。雷魚の大きいやつを船に入れますと、船の中でバタバタ暴れて危ないですから、なるべく船の外でリリースするというのと同じで、パイクはもっとさらに大きくてこんな太いですから、で歯がすごいんですよ。もうなんかアリゲーター、ワニみたいな感じですね。そのような感じで危険な魚なので、なるべく船の中には入れないでリリースということをしています。で、船べりまで寄せてスプーンをシェイクして、でまず外せと、でそれで外れれば OK なんですけど、そうでないとプライヤーでシルバーミノを挟んでリリースするような感じでやってますね。スプーンがメインでしたけど、トップウォーターで何匹か釣れました。初日はシルバーミノでやって、2時間かな、2時間ぐらいかなやって、2匹、そこでもう115センチというのが釣れたんで、もう自分はその初日で満足してしまったんですけど、そんな状態で2日目はトップウォーターでやろうと、ペンシルベイトをこれぐらいの大きいねザウルスのマグナムモックを持ってきてやったんですが、トレブルフックはダメだということで、シングルフック1本だと、このサイズでシングルフック1本だともう当然かかりが悪いの分かってますから、どうにかもう1本2本にしてくれと言ってトニーにお願いして2本にしたんですが、それでもやはり無理ですよね。大きい口ですから、そこに剥製があるんですけどね、こんな大きい口で、丸飲みですよ。丸飲みしてガッと噛んで、それでもう合わせてもずれませんから、もう歯がボディに食い込んでるんですよね。それでぐーっと進んで、口を開けるとスポッと抜けちゃうというような、カジキなんかと同じような現象が当然起きるなと思ったら案の定です。その時は、トニーは何匹釣ったか分かりませんけど、シルバーミノで私はその時2日目で16バイトかな、16バイトありましたけど、ノーフキンです。すごい毛でバーンと出るんですけど、ノーフキンでした。3日目からガイドの言われた通りにミノ、シルバーミノですね、シルバーミノでやりだしたらどんどん超過が上がりました。でトップウォーターでもシルバーミノに、20対1か30対1かな、それぐらいの差は出ますけど、それでも1日やってれば 4,5 匹は釣れると思いますんで、それでもいいという方は、大きいルアーで釣りたいという方は、そのルアーを改造するなり自分でアイデアでシングルフックを1本装着してフックアップするようなことを考えてこないと、ここでの釣りは成立しません。5日間やってやっぱこんなに魚がいるところもまだあるんだな、人が行ってないところしかもう魚釣りは地球レベルでもうないということですね。魚がいてもなおかつ守ってやるということですね。でここのシーズンは2ヶ月しかありませんから、2ヶ月間でそんなには人が入れません。だから当然バーレしませんし、トニ ブルースが、自分たちで厳しいレギュレーションを作ってます。その通りにやってますから、魚を傷めないでずっと魚が釣れるということですね。トニーも雰囲気が、気配がある時ですね。トニー・ウェバーというのはアラスカナンバー1のフライフィッシングガイドなんですが、パイクの釣りに関してはやはりシルバーミノがいいということで、ほとんどシルバーミノを通してましたが、いい時は自分の好きなフライタックルをつないでやってました。その時ワンバイトあったけどミスフックでかかりませんでしたけど、そういうような自分の好きな釣りはワンチャンスにかけてやってるような方でした。こんな釣り場を大事にするにはやはり魚を守って釣りに来られるような方であれば大丈夫だと思いますので、ガイドさんの言うことを聞きながら楽しい釣りを行ってください。ビッグフィッシュキャンプ、パイクのビッグフィッシュですねの釣りに関するお問い合わせはオーストラリアのオールタックルスポーツフィッシングの青柳茂人さんまでご連絡いただければこちらに来れると思います。